Okay, welcome to the Opperman Report Aftershow. I'm your host, Private Investigator Ed Opperman. And this show, the Aftershow, is brought, I hear giggling in the background, and this show is brought to you by Audible.com, audibletrial.com/Opperman Report.
Audible.com/Opperman Report.
And you may be hearing a feedback or an echo on your computer right now, and you're wondering, what is that? What is it? Is Ed's voice has become high-pitched? Has Ed's been castrated? Has someone come along and kicked him and eat him in the balls? No. We've been joined. Okay, right in the middle of my announcements, we have been joined by Victoria Maria Opperman, the host of a brand new show she's launching called Victoria Opperman and Friends. Along the lines of the old Rocky and Bullwinkle and Friends. Is that what you got planned, Vic?
Yeah, I'm not sure yet if I want to call it either Victoria and Friends or Victoria Opperman and Friends.
Ah.
So, it's a little different, but
Can I make a recommendation for you?
Sure.
How about Parlay and Friends? What do you think?
How about
Parlay and
I
Friends?
will not be mocked, Ed.
I am not mocking you, man. What? We're trying to work out a...
At least I'm not an egomaniac. The great report.
damn.
An egomaniac. Like,
Zing!
Well, that's...
I've broken out.
I may have an ego. I may be a maniac, but I have no ego. Anyway, listen, let me do some stuff here,
I'm
guys.
just kidding. Yeah, we know you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let's let you keep plugging the show.
Yes, let me plug and do announcements. Okay, this is very important. This is how we make our living around here. Reader's Choice Awards. Okay, out of the three hosts, we have three radio hosts here on the show tonight. Mike Gray from Parlay. We have Victoria Opperman from Victoria Opperman and Friends, or Victoria and Friends, her new show. But there's only one host amongst us, Ed Opperman of the Opperman Report, that has been nominated by the Reader's Choice Awards by MyVegas.com magazine. Go to www.myvegasmag.com/Reader's Choice Awards and vote for me,
Also,
your host.
Go
ahead.
Also, don't forget, while you're over there voting for my dad here, you can also go and vote for it's the women's section, right? For Tamara Traynor.
Right?
Yeah, so, I don't know, just wanted to plug that in. Sorry.
Okay, you can vote for Tamara Traynor, too, after you finish voting for me.
Yeah.
Ed Opperman of the Opperman Report, and, and tell them, about the radio show and stuff like that, and that would be I think that would be a really big advancement for all of us here, for the show, for our sponsors, our valued sponsors like Mike Gray, to get more listeners, to buy his products and all that kind of stuff. So, where do we leave off? Mike, you were going to tell us a story about Rupert Murdoch, right?
Yeah, comedian David Cross. You could go anywhere and look this up. Just look up David Cross's encounter with Rupert Murdoch.
Okay.
And basically, he was in a meeting, and I guess Rupert Murdoch was over the phone. He wasn't in the actual boardroom. So, comedian David Cross was in a boardroom meeting with Rupert Murdoch over the phone, and they were talking about shows for, I guess, Fox. And one of the shows bantied about was, hey, let's do a reality show with one of the, one of the morning show hosts. And they were bouncing around ideas, and then Rupert Murdoch all of a sudden says, and dead serious, oh, let's frame one of them for like petty theft, like shoplifting. And it'll be great. We'll follow the arrest and the trial, and it'll be big ratings. And then he goes, we could frame Katie Couric. Her name was brought up. And, David Cross is, of course, sitting there aghast, thinking, is this a joke? And everyone in the board, sitting around the chairs, these top executives, were agreeing with Rupert Murdoch, telling him what a genius he was.
Well, yeah, you know what? That doesn't surprise me at all. Murdoch got to this position of power through the big wiretapping scandal that went on with him, wiretapping everybody, man, the royal family. And what he was doing was, he figured out a way, and I knew how to do this too, to listen to people's voicemail messages using caller ID spoofing tools. Okay, and he was listening to everybody's voicemail messages, and blackmailing everybody all over the UK. Now, the interesting thing how this ties in is because back when I figured out how to do this, and a couple other people figured out how to do it, it was kind of a small group that knew what was going on. Because I was back in the cell phone business, I was in the business with the calling cards and stuff like that, so I knew how to do this kind of stuff. But what happened was, when they first came out with this caller ID spoofing cards, where you could call up someone, you could impersonate somebody's phone number, call them up, and get right into their voicemail and listen to their voicemail messages. Who was it that was doing this like crazy was Paris Hilton and Lindsay Lohan. And in fact, they were calling each other up like 3,000 times on these spoofing calling cards, that the guy one of the first guys who came out with these spoofing calling cards, I know the guy, okay, he had to ban them from using his product because these two were calling each other back and forth, listening to their messages all day long.
I'll tell you. Well,
So,
about Paris Hilton and Nikki,
yeah.
basically, I thought the parents were rich, but they're not.
No.
That Hilton fortune is gone for them, I guess. And so the rumor is that basically Nikki and the sister were being pimped out by the parents.
Yeah. We don't know if that's 100% true, but it does have all the signs. They were getting boob jobs at like 14, 15 years old. Which is, I think, illegal. I don't even know how they pull that off. And just the whole lifestyle, and then when you see what comes out in 6 Degrees of Paris Hilton, the book by Mark Ebner, how her whole lifestyle was escort services. All the numbers in her address book was escort services, bail bondsmen, bounty hunters, drug dealers, the real serious crowd. And plus she was there hanging out. She was there firsthand with this guy, Joe Francis, who was, again, with his own private plane. You gotta wonder, all these guys who have private planes. It's a huge expense to have a private plane. The only reason, a huge expense, there's really no benefit to having a private plane. You save a little bit of time, flying from one place to another. You can just drive right up. You don't have to go through the airport metal detectors and stuff like that. So you save a little bit of time, a little bit of luxury, a little bit of extra luxury, a little bit of extra convenience, but not to the point where it's really worth it for you. A guy like Howard,
because you got the maintenance and you got to hire a pilot or two pilots. Yeah.
Guys like Howard Stern don't have private planes. But there's a certain type of people who have private planes, and either it's so that they can bring contraband on the plane, or they're traveling around with the young women that they don't want to be seen with, and that seems to be the only reason. You look around over and over, like this guy, Chris Tucker, who has a private plane. Well, what's this guy have a private plane for?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you find out he's traveling around this Gavin Gavino kid, the Michael Jackson victim.
It almost seems like people like that are handlers.
You would think so, yeah.
Because he's not really in any movies anymore. So where's he getting his money?
No, he did at one time he was the highest paid movie star, Chris Tucker, believe it or not, from the Jackie Chan movies. Okay, because I've been looking into him lately. So Vic, what were we going to say?
I have a friend who says that because his family's like wealthy.
Yeah.
So one of his family members bought a submarine for no reason.
Really? You believe that, though, man? I don't know if I believe that.
Oh, no, I completely believe that.
And is it somebody I know?
His last name's Finley.
Really great.
He owns, his family owns one of the,
okay.
cars.
Yeah, let's stop right there. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's possible.
Yeah, he's not the type of person to be faking being rich.
Victoria's gonna get you sued, Ed.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, by local.
You're gonna be sleeping with the fishes?
just as I was about to be voted, the number one most successful people in
the number one.
It's all.
I voted for you. I voted for you.
Thank you very much. Everyone should go out there and vote because it's good for the show. You know. So Vic, what else is going on? When's the return of your show coming on?
The return of my show? I have no idea.
Do you have any guests lined up for your show?
No.
Nothing at all?
I had school. Like, there's not much going on now.
Well, we're all set up. Yeah, go ahead.
A female guest you could interview is Anne Francis, who's an architect. Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what makes Mike qualified to be a program director.
Yeah.
For these stations here with good old Maid.
Everybody, Mike Ray has a show, everybody.
Hey, I'm trying to get you. You're back on CJ Mars if you want it.
I know. Well, we would love to be back.
I mean, if CJ wants us back, I feel like she needs to contact both of us personally.
Oh.
Oops.
Yeah, that's okay. We love everyone.
Out of the mouth of babes.
We love everyone. We love all the stations we've been working with. We've got a lot of stations coming up. We just started with the Mike Barra over at who's that? Late Night in the Midlands. And that shows his show. He's been around for 8 years. He's at an internet radio show, which is a lot longer than a lot of these other shows and stations you hear around here. So this guy's a solid show. And we're really looking forward to being on there. We'll be on it Tuesday afternoons, 4 o'clock.
He also seems very professional, you know?
Very professional. Okay, come on, guys. Let's be nice. Okay, so let's see. What else is going on? What else did we talk about tonight with good old Mark Ebner? Vic, did you listen to the show?
I listened to, I'm sorry, I had to go get my dress for the Valentine's Day.
Oh,
I listened.
Okay, now how'd that go?
Decent.
Did you get a dress?
I got a dress, yeah. It's like a little white one, you know.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did you take any pictures?
Not yet, no.
Well, Ed, speaking of Katie Couric, do you know that she's one of the guests or friends of Epstein or whatever his name is, Jeffrey Epstein?
Yes, I did know that. Yeah, she went to dinner at Epstein's house along with Woody Allen.
Woody Allen? The pedophile?
Yes.
Wow.
Now the thing is,
the guy who married his adopted daughter?
Yeah.
Wow.
And molested his son too, by the way, too. His son accuses him. The other daughter accuses him too of molesting them. And in the court ruling, he was not allowed to have any kind of private visits with his children. It was only supervised visits. And he said, "Well, I'm not going to bother to fight this." Mm-hmm. You know, and that's something that is not in the news. No one talks about it. You know, but this is a guy that, you know.
You know what's funny in Hollywood? Here's a guy, look, he's a genius, okay? I mean, I love his movies. You can't take that away from him. But, I mean, he's a guy I wouldn't want to know personally.
Yeah.
But yet you have all these people in Hollywood, all these actors who want to work with him and call him friend. Do you know what I'm saying?
I do know what you're saying, man, and I wonder that myself, you know, and
I mean, even someone like Dan Aykroyd, and who, you know, there are a lot of people that I like and think highly of them, but it's like, what am I missing?
Well, I mean, you have to kind of think about it like this, right? If he's really high up, you know, and he has a lot of power, and he's known for, you know, changing these people's lives, you know, other celebrities' lives, just being associated with him, of course you're going to want to be associated with him. Doesn't matter what he's doing. You know, we all had that one popular kid at school that was horrible, but everyone wanted to be friends with him or her. You know, it's the same thing.
Yeah, I know what you mean, Mike. You know, like another.
Here's a guy who he adopted this daughter. She was 16.
Okay.
And then he's
cheating on. That's not true, though.
No, he did adopt her as his daughter.
No, he did not, and they were never married.
Yeah, right. They were never married. Yeah. But
he did not.
There were two other kids though that claimed they were molested in that family. That were his kids, by the way. Right. Satchel was
that
his
were
kid.
his kids, right?
Yeah, and the little girl too.
Right.
I forget her name, but they both put out public letters. By the way,
But Ann, I mean, are you saying that it's okay to take in a girl that's 15, 16
I'm not
into your house
saying that.
as
I'm
the
not
adult
saying that.
and
I'm
the
saying
father
get
figure?
your facts
and then,
straight, though.
we've been
But
joined by
he
Ann
wasn't.
Francis, my lovely producer.
He wasn't. Yeah, and
ladies and gentlemen, Ann Francis
he never
is okay.
actually lived
Woody
with her
Allen
either.
sleeping with his, okay.
No, she's not defending Woody Allen.
I'm not defending Woody Allen at all. I'm saying that the rumors out there aren't true. And in fact, I talked to Ed about doing a show about this guy because there's a lot of just, the guy's still creepy, I want nothing to do with him. But the facts are, he never lived with her.
I could have sworn
He never,
the whole thing was
no.
he adopted her.
No.
Go look it up.
Not only that, too.
They were never married.
They never
He
lived in the
never
same place.
lived with her.
Yeah, he never lived with Mia
Right.
Farrow. They live in separate apartments. And do you know that this guy's in intense therapy every single day? He's in therapy sessions? And not
Programming?
not even therapy. Analysis. Analysis, which is that intense therapy that even Howard Stern does. You know, you gotta wonder what the hell's going on with that.
Yeah. He was in 4 days a week. Yeah.
How crazy do you have to think you are that you can't function?
But here's the thing, you know, you question a lot about why these people want to be associated with. Name one that's truly clean and decent and is doing the right thing. You're talking all about the same people that are also supporters of the West Memphis Three. Mm-hmm. So, you know, where do you draw the line? You know, you can't look at these people as being normal.
Yeah, you know what? That's a whole other topic, too, because with the West Memphis Three, what I'm seeing more and more is the stalking behavior and this gloating with these fanatical supporters of these killers. There's this one group on Facebook called the Friends of the West Memphis Three Friends page. It's a private group that I snuck into. I'm in there.
I will say, I really am naive.
Yeah.
I really am.
As far as what?
Just as far as, like, the things that people will do to people, you know?
Mm.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I mean, I was raised by decent people, and I have a code of conduct. There are just certain things I won't do.
I was raised by decent people. Victoria was raised by a decent person. Where is your back? But there are people out there, man. I got to tell you that you know, I run across them all the time. And like I was saying again with this West Memphis 3 group, you know, what we're trying to do is we have a Truth Funders campaign to raise money. If you go to truthfunders.com and you look up, you know, there's not that many campaigns on it. You could find us. We want to do some documentaries about shows like the West Memphis 3 to bring out the truth, you know. And I think the focus we should do on that is this cult of stalkers and fanboys and real creepy people that have latched onto that case. It's incredible.
It's almost like, now, you know, deep down they know he did it.
Oh,
Those
yeah.
guys did it.
Yeah, definitely.
But they just want to be around people who got away with it. Or, you know.
I think it's the fame. Look at where they are now. Oh, at least where Eccles is. I mean, there's one of... I mean, look at what he's doing. Look at who he's hanging out with. He's a celebrity.
Yeah, he's being glorified for the murder. Because when you see people posing next to this guy like he's some kind of superstar, rock star, you know, it's because he's a rock star in killing little kids, you know. And this bunch, man, they're gloating over this privately. You know, I deal with them all the time, you know, almost on a daily basis, to tell you the truth. And it's getting a little more aggressive lately.
Well, you know Johnny Depp, because he portrayed Hunter S. Thompson.
Yeah.
And stayed at his house in his basement.
Yeah.
And he says, "Oh, I saw a box. There was a box, and he went in that box. I wonder what was in that box. Maybe his snuff films."
Who knows, man? The whole thing with Thompson up there in Colorado, with his neighbor and buddy, Don Johnson, who openly was that girl he was married to. He started with her when she was a little kid. You know, it's you know what I'm talking about?
Don, you mean the Miami Vice guy?
Yeah.
You want to know something?
Yeah, I know him. I don't know the story, though.
His daughter is now in 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh, really?
She's the actress in 50 Shades of Grey.
Well, Melody, Don Johnson and Melody who?
Don Johnson and Melody Griffith's daughter.
Melody Griffin met Don Johnson when she was like 13 years old, and he was like 10 years older than her.
Yeah.
You know? And her parents were all for it. And by the way, she grew up on some kind of thing where they had lions or something?
Yeah,
Tippy.
Her mother had.
What's her name?
Yeah, she had an animal rescue, a large animal.
Yeah, Melanie Griffin lived
lions
in an animal rescue where she was fooling around with lions. Tigers, man. You know? The whole thing's insane.
Yeah, and now the daughter, Dakota Johnson.
Oh, yeah?
She's in the film 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh, brother.
Yeah.
Hey, so Vic, last week we were talking about this guy, Jeffrey Epstein, right?
Mm-hmm.
And part of that story was, we were talking about this when we were walking the other day. Part of that story...
Okay.
Right. Is that this guy had young girls that were like high school age that were talking to other kids in the school and trying to lure them into his thing of... This guy's like 50 years old, is my age, so he wanted kids your age, like your friend's age, to come to my house and massage me for $300 or $200. Yeah.
Would you like me to give you a great example about how that could never happen in my school?
Go ahead.
We just had a thing the other day where our history teacher, our yearbook teacher was absent, and a bunch of girls started complaining about our yearbook teacher, right?
Yeah.
And we're saying, let's go to the dean to get her, fired, or whatever they were planning to do.
Okay.
These crazy girls were like, we're not doing anything in yearbook. We have this due date and stuff, and all we do is crossword puzzles. So they talked to one of my friends, and one of my friends just decided to email Miss Kennedy and let her know. And she shut it down automatically. She talked to every single, she talked to the head of the English board, she talked to the dean, she talked to everyone to be like, here's...
She put down the coup, right?
Yeah. Oh my God, it was so intense.
What did I don't understand. What did the teacher do that was so bad?
Basically, I'm in a yearbook class, right? So we don't do much of yearbook because there's not a lot of things you can do for a yearbook. It's only a 96-page yearbook, and we're sharing it with a high school class also, So we end up kind of doing more journalism type of things, and sometimes end up doing crossword puzzles. So these girls got upset and decided to overthrow yearbooks,
Okay, listen, we're coming up to a break. I know, listen, Victoria, don't get involved in that stuff, but we want to talk when we get back. I want to get into the subject of what would happen. Forget yearbook, Vic, okay, and forget the coup going on in the yearbook committee and whatever you got,
Fat guy there.
Well, I just mean that, if that can get turned down in a day, there's no way that could happen in our school,
Okay, but what I want to talk about is, let's leave the yearbook out of it for
that.
Okay, is that if there was a girl in your school approaching other young girls about going to massage some guy, some would go for it, okay, but there had to be a large majority that didn't go for it, and how this would spread like wildfire.
Of course,
so now we're going to take a break. We had a guest tonight, Mark Ebner, who was really a great guest. He was right on topic, man. He didn't bring up coups or yearbook or anything like that. We love Mark Ebner. He's the author of Being Uncle Charlie, A Life Undercover with Killers, Kingpins, Bikers, and Drug Lords. 6 Degrees of Paris Hilton. I definitely recommend this book. Inside the Sex Tapes, Scandals, and Shakedowns of the New Hollywood. Mark Ebner, great guy. We're here with Ann Francis, my producer. We're here with Mike Gray from InfinityHomeplans.com and Parlay of unknown broadcast. We don't know what day it's going to broadcast on or when it's going to debut, but it's out there. He's got a great show on Sandy Hook. We're working on it. And Victoria formerly of Teen Truth, who is now on Victoria and Friends. Okay, so we'll be right back after these messages, guys. Okay, we're just having fun. Relax. Okay, no coups. So I'm going to take a little break and go to the bathroom. So no coups while I'm gone, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
If you're looking for essential oils, stop by and check out Essentially Tammy on Facebook. She is Young Living Essential Oils Independent Distributor. These 100% therapeutic grade oils help support the body's natural functions. You can click on her website posted on Essentially Tammy, that's T-A-M-I, to see the current deals and check out the benefits of oils such as frankincense, joy, valor, lemon, thieves, panaway, and many more. Email Jocko Tammy, that's Jocatami @yahoo.com, or call 352-239-8546. That's 352-239-8546. Hey, don't forget good old Amanda at Pacific West Bamboo. Pacific West Bamboo, 503-839-8126. You can reach her at demroots@oppermail.com. Pacific West Bamboo, your number one source for timber, construction, and craft-grade bamboo poles, plants, products, and more. They specialize in eco-friendly reclaimed wood products for the home and garden. They're located in Portland, Oregon, servicing the Northwest for over 10 years. They can be reached at 503-839-8126. That's 503-839-8126. Her Facebook page is Pacific West Bamboo. They can and do ship nationwide, and they're currently getting a new line of bamboo flooring, veneers, and laminates made from Guadawa bamboo, one of the world's strongest bamboos, grown and produced and manufactured in Central America using only economically and environmentally friendly practices and standards. Good old Mike Ray at infinityhomeplans.com. Check out Infinity Home Plans and Design Services, your resource for 3D and 2D draftsman services. They offer a multitude of products, including stock home plans, 2D digital drawings, 3D models, renderings, and more. That's infinityhomeplans.com. Hey, don't forget emailrevealer.com. That's my website, emailrevealer.com. And we offer all different kinds of services. Current place of employment locate. Let's say you're trying to locate where your ex-husband or your ex-wife is working so you can collect on child support. You contact us, we can locate their place of employment for you and help you collect on that child support. Let's say you think that your husband or your wife is cheating on you. Give us their email address and we can trace it back to online dating websites and dating services. So we have a multitude of services on emailrevealer.com. Hey, don't forget the New World Mexican Women. Okay, and I just Google New World Mexican Women. You can find their book where they first describe their love letters to their men and their sons and their uncles and their brothers who have traveled from South America to North America to work as migrant workers. But the women down in this town there in Guerrero, Mexico, they want their men to come back. So they've written these beautiful love letters, and they've put them all in this beautiful coffee table book. First, the letters are written in Spanish, handwritten. You can see pictures of the people writing the books. And then it comes on after that, and it's typewritten in English. And then also, too, the second half of the book is teaching you how to make authentic Mexican jewelry from these New World Mexican women. You can find their book on Lulu.com. It's only $19, or you can download the digital edition for free. That's New World Mexican Women, and it's a two-part book where first part is the love letters, and the second part is the making the handmade jewelry, the authentic Mexican jewelry. But you can also contact them too as well if you want to get a deal on wholesale jewelry from Mexico from these women. Okay, welcome back to the Opperman Report Aftershow. I am your host, Private Investigator Ed Opperman, owner of emailrevealer.com, which is my website. You can go to the emailrevealer.com. Got all kinds of services you can look up. One that I'm famous for is tracing back emails to online dating websites and catching people cheating online. I actually invented that search, and I'm still the best at it.
Yeah.
So we've been talking here. You've been hearing me chit-chat with my producer, Ann, my friend and sponsor, Mike Gray, my beautiful daughter, Victoria Mira Opperman. So you can kind of understand the kind of abuse that I go through on a daily basis with these three characters in my life. This is, Victoria's talking about overthrowing the yearbook teacher.
Story off air. It's incredible.
This is where we are in my life. And meanwhile, let's point out that despite this, I've been nominated. I was nominated as one of the most successful people.
How did you get nominated for this?
I was nominated.
Ed, that thing you sent me,
yes,
it makes me nominate you. I had to put in your name.
Oh!
No, you're voting for me. You're voting for me.
It's a vote.
Okay.
But I did. I voted for you. I wrote a thing. What a great guy you were. That you were a great dad.
Thank you. Well, we don't want to vote so many times because look what happened to Reverend Pinckney. Okay. Okay. You got 7 years. You know what, man? Just like good old Reverend Pinckney got 7 years, man. You vote for me more than once, you probably get 7 years. That's the kind of situation we're in. So, Victoria, besides the coup that you were plotting, this overthrow of your yearbook teacher.
I was not plotting this.
Well, that's good.
Teacher.
Victoria was on the sidelines documenting the coup.
I wrote down that you like
interviewing people.
Yeah.
Okay, but Vic, if with this case, Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah.
Because the girls that were victimized in this case were your age, okay? You're 14 years old, right? How old are you, Vic?
I'm 14 years old. Not 18, but 14.
Not 18, but 14. Okay, good. And Vic, what grade are you in school?
I'm in the 8th grade. I'm supposed to be in high school, but I'm in the 8th grade.
Yeah, I know. You got left back because you were a little slow. Then
yeah. I was a bit slow.
No, we kept Vic because I wanted her to be older than all the other kids. She's born in November, so we had the choice of putting her in kindergarten one year or the next year. So I figured it would be advantageous for her to be the oldest kid in the class.
And that turned out great, didn't it?
I think it's working out very good.
I think it's turning out horrible.
Well, don't worry about it. Now, my question for you is tonight, Victoria, okay? Let me try and get this question out, okay? And I want you to answer this question.
Okay.
Is in this Jeffrey Epstein case, because the victims in this case are your age, okay?
Yeah.
Now, what would happen in your school if an older kid there started trying to recruit kids to go to some man's house, a 50-year-old man's house, to give him massages? Forget about the molestation that went on, but just the massages part.
Yeah.
What do you think would happen?
I feel like, first of all, parents are so strict in our school, and it's, so many different religions and stuff, that even the idea of going to someone's house takes permission and phone calls and, just a string of things before you even get to that.
Right.
So I feel like even asking, like I think I was telling you when we had this discussion, the only place I could think of this legitimately happening would be at recess. And even then, there's teachers everywhere. It would get to one of them in seconds and it'd be shut down in, hours.
But if someone approached you with this, would you tell your friends? Would you come and tell me?
I would definitely come and tell you, yeah.
I know you would, yeah.
I don't know if, considering the friends I have, I don't know if I'd say anything, but I would definitely say something to someone, yeah.
Yeah, right.
And didn't you read in that thing where these high school girls were getting other high school girls to in a prostitution ring?
Yeah.
And they were 13 years old.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
He's asking Vic if this could happen but how long ago was this, Ed?
2006.
Oh yeah, even then, no.
Oh, it wasn't that long ago.
No, it was not.
Yeah, okay.
But you got to think that the girls that he was bringing, the 14-year-old and 15-year-old girls that he was bringing to the island, the parents had to know.
Oh, yeah. No, that definitely. By that time, yeah.
Yeah.
And there's pictures of this girl, too, Veronica Roberts, where she's a very little girl in New York City with this guy on trips, and she's writing back to her parents, her grandmother and her mother, and they're telling her, get away from him, this is dangerous, And so, now the thing is, too, is that this guy, during the search warrant, they found in his office school transcripts of these kids in high school. Now, how did he get a hold of that? You know, this guy's a former school teacher.
Yeah.
So somehow he was able to get these transcripts of these kids, so he was able to pick out the ones who had trouble in their lives, had trouble at home, had little shoplifting problems and stuff like that, drug use accusations.
They always go for the troubled ones because no one will believe their story.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, they're the ones that the parents don't usually care.
And?
Wasn't there a big computer system that would document all of that?
He supposedly had a big computer.
City.
He didn't have any computers in his office, but he said he had a big computer room to the other side. Also, too, with supposedly, see, no one knows where this guy's money came from. Okay, it's all mysterious. Yeah. But they say that all the people that worked for him, he had 150 employees, and they were all very attractive young women. Again. That some of these girls that were being molested were later on getting jobs for him, working through their whole life, and they were promised, "Hey, I'll hook you up with a millionaire. You can marry this guy, and you'll go on the rest of your life with it." You know, and some of them did go on to marry millionaires.
So, was he really paying them, or were they paying him, giving him a cut of?
We don't know.
You know,
we don't know. We got to look into this way further. You know, there's a lot more in this.
The money is a mystery.
Yeah.
We talked about that last time, right? Because the whole blackmail angle, I don't believe it.
Doesn't make sense. No. It's more procuring because they'd kill him, right?
You know, wouldn't you think that when he was getting these 15 and 16-year-old girls and, he was showing them the good life, that they were getting addicted to it?
Well, the thing is, you can take little kids. You got to remember, too, this other guy, Jean-Luc, who's now suing somebody in this case. He's the model procurer, the model scout, who has a whole bunch of history of allegations against him. And you can take these little kids, 12 years old, from other countries. And sure, if you start giving them alcohol and drugs and sex at a young age, they're not going to be brought up with morals and self-respect. Yeah. So they're going to fall into that kind of lifestyle. If you take a kid to Disneyland all day long, they're going to fall into that kind of lifestyle. So you take a kid and you offer them drugs and sex and alcohol and do whatever you want. Let's party, let's dance. Of course they're going to do that,
If the majority of the time is spent on yachts and private planes,
right,
and 5-star hotels and 5-star restaurants, and that's 80% of their day or 90% of their day, then the 10% of the you-know-what is like they just look the other way, maybe.
I think it's grooming, though. I don't think when you're that young, it's not just being attracted to a lifestyle. Because I've seen pictures of some of these girls with their quote-unquote fiancés or husbands, and they look miserable. They look scared. Mm-hmm. It's not normal.
One thing.
And if you're Katie Couric and George Stephanopoulos, let's name names here. If you're Katie Couric and George Stephanopoulos, forget the Clintons because they're beasts. But you know the list of celebrities and who's who that call him friend. How are they even living with themselves? How do they look themselves in the mirror?
Good question, because anybody that walked into that the Palm Beach house had to see these photographs because everyone saw it. The girls talked about it. The cops talk about it. It's in the
Charlie Rose.
He was in that house.
Well, he's on the list.
No, there's another house in New York City that they could have went to. So we need a more definitive list of which celebrities went to that Palm Beach house where we know for a fact, because there was no search warrant served on that New York City apartment townhouse. But also, too, this guy's not even a registered sex offender. He's a registered sex offender, but he gives his address as Virgin Islands. So when you run that in New York or Palm Beach to see who's a local sex offender, he doesn't even show up on the list.
Yeah.
Here's another guy who gets away with murder.
Well, that's a whole other question, too, because, obviously some people had to have disappeared. We're hearing a story tonight from Mark Ebner about how there was a comatose girl, disappearing out of the Playboy Mansion. You know?
Yeah, what actor? James Caan, maybe?
I don't know.
Because James Caan lived in the Playboy Mansion for a long time after his first divorce.
So did Robert Blake was in there, too.
Robert, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Really?
Hey, Dad.
Yeah.
I gotta get going real quick.
Okay.
Because I have to go eat dinner, but
Oh.
I don't know, do you want me just to hang up, or you want me just to keep it on mute?
We're probably going to drop in 15 minutes, 14 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, so we were joined tonight by Victoria Mary Opperman, former host of TeenTruth.com. But Vic, your new show is called Victoria and Friends?
Victoria and Friends or Victoria Opperman and Friends, you'll know as soon as I know what the show name is.
Okay, and what's the plan for the show? Give us an idea what you're going to be doing.
Well, my plan for the show, and this is just rough plans, is split up.
Is that Mark Ebner's dog? Okay.
Is what I would like to do is have, like I used to do, an hour interview.
Right.
And then have a second show with, hopefully, one of my friends who has been on the show before, but we have to see if she'll get permission and stuff.
Gotcha.
And basically what we would do for this show is talk a little bit about the guest, talk about what we thought, what our opinions are on the topic or whatever. And then maybe get into some news and stuff or talk about just random little things. It would kind of be like what you're doing here with an after show, except an official show and with only one person and not with Mike.
I'm insulted.
You're insulted.
No, again, I'm just kidding. Good.
And then, I'm hoping that, if you want to help me get, my goal would be to be a podcast, because I think that's the way I want my show to personally go. So if you'd like to help me out on this, you can go to, it's, Victoria Opperman Podcast, right?
Yeah.
On GoFundMe, and, if you could give me like $5 or $1, that'll be great. Because I only need about $30 a month to have a website and be able to upload the podcast onto iTunes. So that would be my end goal here, but it seems like what we're going to be doing is just adding on a couple stations and then building up to a podcast.
So, Vic, where's your GoFundMe?
Where's my GoFundMe? Well, I mentioned it. It's Victoria Opperman Podcast. I think you could just search it, right? I don't think there's anything.
Okay. If you Google Victoria Opperman Podcast?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's on GoFundMe, so just go to GoFundMe.com and then just search Victoria Opperman Podcast.
Okay, we'll put up a link on tonight's blog, on the Opperman Report blog, and you can find it there. And I'll even post it on my Facebook page.
Okay.
And I'll only take like 20%, Vic, okay? So listen, thank you very much, Victoria Opperman.
Thank you.
So, I love you, sweetie.
I love you too.
I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.
We're moving.
Bye, Victoria.
End call. Okay, we got a question from Mark Nanaman. He says, Ed, I didn't listen to almost any of the show tonight. Did you and your guest discuss Randy Quaid at all and his recent lewd video feud with Rupert Murdoch? If not, do you have anything to say about it?
Did you see that? What he did?
I saw it, man, and I got to tell you, the gold in that tape. Ann, did you see it?
Yeah.
Is the dog barking in the background?
You could tell they're in like a seat.
Best
They're in
dog
like
ever.
a hotel or something, and.
That wasn't planned, and the dog's barking along to the rhythm there of this scene.
No, they weren't really doing anything.
I don't think so either. I think it was just a state
I
of
don't
scene.
know.
The most disgusting part is when he spits on his hand. It's like, oh God.
Interesting, though, because Rupert Murdoch, I'm no fan of his, man, but, it's that dog in the background. I gotta love that.
Randy's still up in Canada, right?
They're hiding out. Yeah, I'd love to get him on the show, see what's really, has to
It's
say.
funny because he mentions Lloyd Braun. and Lloyd Braun is one of the lawyers for Seinfeld and Larry David of Seinfeld.
Right. Really?
And and I was good old Joe DeToma. I was talking to him, and he said that.
When were you talking to Joe DeToma?
I converse with Joe DeToma.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Calm down, Ed. Calm down.
Okay.
I send him, links and stuff.
Oh, okay. I can imagine.
and we message. Sometimes we message. All right. I will not be mocked.
So let me get it. You send him.
And some people appreciate. Some people appreciate my things. But he was telling me, when I mentioned Lloyd Braun, that Randy Quaid had mentioned specifically Lloyd Braun in one of his. It was his press conference. He specifically named Lloyd Braun, and I thought, Lloyd Braun, I know that name. And I was messaging Joe, and talking to him on the phone. He said, that Jerry Seinfeld and Larry David know about Lloyd Braun, and they benefited, and they know about the Star Whackers, basically. And I was like, you're kidding.
Well, what I didn't understand about that whole thing, I got all of that, but he claims he was arrested by TMZ 6 times. What?
I think he's just claiming because they say that he was arrested.
I mean, look how many. This guy
arrested for what, though?
Movies, but I mean, this guy's been in a lot of movies, Ann. I mean, he's been.
I understand. I'm not.
He's got a lot of voice.
There's definitely something going on, and he's on the run for a reason. But
yeah, right.
But you mean to tell me he doesn't have?
He's naming. He may not. Have you seen the way these guys go from riches to rags?
Right.
I also found it funny
money can be pulled.
Well, what about his brother? Interesting that when his brother adopted those 2 twin babies, both babies in the hospital almost died from the same dosage.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah,
now, how
they
could
were
you mess
given
up?
the wrong dosage.
How could you mess up
medicine?
on both kids? I could see you mess up on one kid, but you're going to mess up the same dosage on both.
I didn't know there were 2. I remember hearing about the one.
He had twins. He adopted twins.
Okay.
And both babies got the same dose that almost killed his little adopted twins. I thought, geez, that's kind of.
Were they given the dose at the same time? Because
that's the point. When you're in a hospital, even though they're twins, it's separate patients. It's not like you keep the twins together.
I understand that, but were they? But depending on what the dosage was and what kind of medicine it was, it may have been mixed up prior, and it could have been messed up from the go and given to both of them.
Yeah, that's true. If
the same mistake.
Yeah, if they both had the same nurse and those 2 shots were being prepped at the same time, it could have happened then.
Right.
And because I'm giving it to this one or this one, it doesn't matter which one, And there's a lot of stuff goes on.
Things in a hospital don't happen like that.
No, they do. Yeah,
yeah, they do.
Yeah, nurses forget to give shots.
Do.
They bring stuff home by mistake. There's all kinds of stuff that goes on. All kinds of nonsense and shenanigans.
The night nurses.
Yeah.
The nurses not taking proper notes. The shift changes. Oh, trust me, it goes wrong a lot.
Yeah, and also too, with these nurses, they spend a lot of time just gossiping and sitting in the corner and talking to each other, rather than doing anything else, man. But we were talking about this earlier, Mike, and it reminded me of the story of Pam Dauber and Mark Harmon when their house was burned down. And I remember seeing this with my own eyes. They did a press conference right in front of that burning house with the news cameras. They're saying, ever since we started doing these TV shows, we did a movie about some kind of satanic child abuse case in a nursing in a daycare center. That now our house has been burned down. And they were ranting and raving about it. And when you go back and look this up now, you don't see that. And it talks about how their house was burned down in a fire where a whole bunch of houses were burned down. But at the time, that was the only house that was being burned. So.
Wow.
Well, we're getting
it happens. I mean,
it does happen, and you're right, they do. They get their fortune stolen from them, and all kinds of stuff goes on. And we're down to the last 5 minutes. What do you guys want to do? You want to drop off at 8 o'clock and
yeah,
call it a night?
Good.
Next week we have who, Ann? We have the Kinsey report, right?
The Kinsey report lady, I believe, yeah.
Who's that?
Oh, very good, man. Very good information. The Kinsey report, it's fascinating stuff, man. In the Kinsey report, this guy, Kinsey, was masturbating little 3-year-old kids and 4-year-old kids and all kinds of stuff, all kinds of...
Oh, that guy where everyone cites about the sexuality?
Yes!
Okay, but he took those reports, like people say, he went to prisons and insane asylums.
Yeah.
And asked prisoners and people that were insane their sexual habits. And have you had a homosexual relationship or thought about homosexuality? Oh, of course, people but he didn't tell, so the thing is skewed.
Yeah.
Kensington, or Kenzie, whatever his name is. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, fascinating.
Wasn't there a movie about him?
Yeah, it was total whitewash, of course.
Right.
Well, it did go about how he was a little obsessive about the topic, but there's a ton of child molestation that went on in the Kinsey studies, with 3-year-old boys and 4-year-old boys, and how long would it take them to have an erection, How this guy got away with this, man, is beyond me. So that's next week. Then we have
as long as you do it in a white coat and take notes, you're good.
Yeah. Then we have Paul is Dead coming up. What else do we have coming up, Ann?
Oh, when's David McGowan coming back on?
We gotta work with him. I'm gonna give him another month.
Yeah, Dave is the author of Weird Scenes Inside the Canyon and Program to Kill. Fascinating guy, a real big friend of the show. There's a picture. We got a message from Mark Nataman that there's a picture of Kinsey and Kenneth Anger at Aleister Crowley's Abbey of Thelema.
There you go.
Yeah, in Italy. And in the movie, by the way, Rosemary's Baby. Relax for a second. Rosemary's Baby, in that movie with Rosemary's Baby, man, there's a scene where they go to a bookshelf and he's reaching for a book, and right above the book they're reaching for, below it, is the Kinsey report. So, yeah, so there's a whole Kinsey connection. We're down to 2 minutes.
And Rosemary's Baby was filmed, or at the Dakotas where John Lennon lived.
Right, and was
that building.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of stuff in that building, So we're down to 2 minutes. We're going to be dropping the good old Awake Radio and all those guys. Hey, Patty, you want to plug your show again?
Where the Wild Things Grow on Saturday at 3 p.m., starting at noon on Sunday, at the Brain Gym, followed by I Have Something to Say, Tuesday, Turtle Talk at 4 p.m. Thanks.
And Mike, you want to plug your show that we don't know when it's going to air?
No, it's called Parlay, and it's going to air on CJMR soon.
Okay,
I'll let you know when it...
Is that Parlay Report or just Parlay?
Just Parlay. I'm not going to steal anything else.
Okay. So, Ann, is there a plug or
unless Ann's willing to be my producer.
Oh, get out of here. Now I'm upset. Now that's it.
Niagara Falls.
Niagara Falls. So, Ann, what would you like to promote? Plug?
Oh, I'm good. I mean, we're worried about maintaining your show.
The beautiful Ann Francis is putting out a calendar, The Girls of the Opperman Report. And it's going to be the month of March. Ann Francis. Let's see. And Pat's Walking Turtle is going to be April. And let's see. Who else? I don't know who else we got. That's about it.
June, July, and August.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Thank you so much for having us on tonight. We'll see you next week. And next week got the old, good old thing going on there, the Kinsey Report. Good night.
That should be good.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, John Boy.
Are we off air?